Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated, the uneducated economist here today. I'd like to talk a little bit about how well the economy is rolling right now. So I work in the building supply industry, and one of the things that you really see when the economy is really rocking and rolling is the price of materials, right? They really go up high, and one of the leading pieces that you can look at is half-inch CDX, right? Now, those of you who aren't familiar with building supplies, half-inch CDX is a type of plywood, and it's generally just a sheathing plywood. So you build the skeleton of your house, the framing, and then you sheet it with half-inch CDX. It's a very common plywood. Generally, you would find that these plywoods would run, at least in my area, anywhere from $15 to $20 a sheet. And right now, they are running well over $23 a sheet. And now that doesn't seem like a big deal from 20 to 23, but when you're in the building industry, every dollar per piece is essentially the ticket. That's where your money is. So if you could save $1 a sheet on your half-inch CDX and the amount of CDX that goes into the entire house, you can save quite a bit of money if you could even save $1 a sheet. So it's quite extreme going from 20 to 23. That's just unfortunately the case that we're sitting in right now with that stuff. And it's not the only one. There's plenty of others. OSB, which is, really considered the cheapest sheathing that you can get. And I've seen it selling under $10, and now that is selling over $20 a sheet. It's incredible. It's outrageous. And that's one of the things you have to look at. When things seem overpriced, well, they can't stay that way forever. If these prices keep going up, eventually building a house will just become unaffordable. And, well, at least, for some people. But I guess as long as they continue to loan on it, then you'll be able to get your money for it, But that's kind of the situation I think we're sitting in on it. There's a lot of things that you can look at that's going to show you how fast, your building is moving, your building industries. And, one of them is how quick of a turnover you can get after the sale of a house. Like, these houses are selling so fast that, you can't even get it completed before they're sold, and so they don't sit on the market. That's ridiculous. They should have some time out there so that people can bid and, come up with a fair value for it. But, pretty much any offer is being accepted, and that's just ridiculous. It can't last that way. It's easy to kind of go back and see these things. Right after the recession, you saw these building materials hit cheap. They were nothing. You could build a house for, half the price that you can build one today. And that was just 8 years ago. Labor's gone off the charts. You can't find good help now. All the contractors who had good guys, all those guys are now doing their own business. The economy was doing so well right now. There's so many people who need carpenters that these guys who normally worked for the businessmen have taken on the business for themselves. And unfortunately for a lot of people who hire these guys, they're going to get what they think is good professional work, but, they're new to the game. So, you're going to have a lot of shoddy work going on out there. Duck just flew over my head. So, that's another thing, it's just like the labor. I see these guys who are building these businesses, and they have all these trucks and this new equipment, and they're rocking and rolling, and I'm thinking, I remember when you guys started swinging hammers. I mean, you guys graduated high school, you've been doing this for a few years, and now here you are starting your own business. Some of you are going to make it, but I'm feeling that a lot of you aren't, And yeah, right now is a good time for you because everybody is just screaming for for carpenters to work on their houses, but that's going to change. That'll eventually go the other way, and they're not going to need you guys anymore, and your business is, well, if you're good, you're going to stick around, but if you're not, if you're just mediocre or you're just getting started, you're going to have a hell of a time once the housing market turns. And I don't mean to put anybody down, you know, for your skills or anything. You could be really good, but, you know, if the work's not there, it's not there. And, you know, you can't hire everybody. So, you know, be careful on that stuff. You know, there's a lot of room for money right now. There's a lot of room for people to be in the game and in building and stuff, but it doesn't last forever, you know. And so if you leverage yourself out there too far, you take out big loans and buy all kinds of equipment and stuff, and one day you're not going to be able to make that loan payment. It all crumples on you. You know, it'll all be over. So, you know, be careful on that stuff. You know, personally, I'm not really too worried about the economy turning for the housing. The company that I particularly work for in the building industry here, it's owned. The owner owns it outright. There's no loans out on the place. He doesn't own the bank for his building or his equipment. None of that stuff. He can literally be the only guy there peddling his hardware and lumber, and he can still have a functioning store because he doesn't have to answer to the banks. That's pretty cool. It's one of the reasons why I went to work for him. I worked for a couple of other lumber yards that failed due to the fact that they had over leveraged. And you know, once those building industry turns and you're not selling 2x4s like you were before, you know, you know, if you even sell every 2x4 in the county and you still can't make it, you know, I mean, you've leveraged yourself too far out there. So, you know, I saw that. I worked for 2 different lumber yards that failed that way. You know, they overextended themselves, bought a bunch of equipment, and then when the recessions kicked in, you know, back in '07 and then back again, you know, in 2000. You know, I watched 2 lumber yards. I mean, I was there. I was right in the thick of it, and both these companies failed. The one I work for now, it's the oldest lumber yard in Oregon. So, you know, I'm pretty confident that he's going to be around for a while. So yeah, I position myself okay. You know, when it comes to the industry that I'm in, I think I got a good position here, and you know, and I think we'll be all right. You know, going through the next recession. I'm thinking, I'm hoping, anyway. Can't get him into cryptocurrencies, won't do it, you know. He says, you know, until people come in and they're, you know, every other customer is insisting that he has cryptocurrencies, he does not even care one little bit about doing it. So I can't even get my own company to do Litecoin. Oh, well. You know, I told him I'd spend all my Litecoin with them, but, yeah. Anyway. So, anyway, that's what I thought I'd talk about today a little bit, is that, you know, you can really see how well or about how far along we are by the cost of the building materials out there. When they reach this high, you're going to have a downfall, because they're going to turn off them loans. They're going to raise them interest rates. They may not, you know, they may not. They may actually keep the interest rates down and, you know, keep loaning them out. And, you know, hell, people may pay $5 for a 2x4 and 30 sheets for $30 for a half-inch CDX. I don't know. They might do it. I mean, they're buying them right now for, you know, $23.80 or whatever it is I'm selling them for. So, you know, why wouldn't they buy it for $30? I mean, if the bank is willing to loan on it, then I guess they're willing to buy it for that price. You know? I wouldn't build a house right now. No way. No way. I mean, it was half the cost to build a house about not 2 years, about 7 years ago, I guess. But yeah, it's outrageous right now. I mean, to borrow money to buy materials at this price and make interest rates payments on them, forget it. Forget it. Not gonna do it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Let you take a look out at the river. A lot of boats waiting to go upstream. Take her easy, guys.